Okay, y'all, this is video number 4, which means we're halfway there. This video helps you gain new perspectives on becoming yourself based on the learning mindsets we discussed in earlier videos. Becoming ourselves is the center of personal development and growth, the starting point for realizing our potential mentally, physically, psychologically, socially, and spiritually. Becoming a better learner naturally helps us connect with ourselves and unlock our potential. In this video, we'll talk about the importance of becoming ourselves, what gets in the way of becoming ourselves, our value or worth, learning who we are, connecting with our emotions, reinventing ourselves and becoming ourselves around others. Our previous videos have emphasized these themes. We're all fundamentally good. We all matter. We have the potential to be amazing. Our lives are supposed to be phenomenal, and we're supposed to naturally love life. And in this video, we'll explore the question, who are we? We've also talked frequently about what it means to get the most out of our lives. Becoming ourselves is also central to that question. And we've talked about how becoming yourself helps unlock your natural gracefulness, which then naturally helps you to be more effective with others and make differences and get better at everything else. So, what does it even mean to become ourselves? This question has mystified us since the beginning of humanity, and it has led us down to some pretty convoluted philosophical paths. It seems like it shouldn't be that hard. It's hard enough that we don't know who we are, but to make things even harder, it doesn't seem like it's even okay to be us. We can start with all of the expectations of who we're supposed to be. What expectations do we hold ourselves to? Where do those expectations come from? Are they our values or others' values? And what happens when we fall short? Disappointing ourselves, disappointing others, others disappointing us, beating ourselves up, feeling unworthy, feeling defective. There are even expectations about how we define our identity. Think of all the ways we define ourselves: country, heritage, culture, family, beliefs, ideologies, history, triumphs and sins, actions, efforts, results, intentions. Do these things need to define us? How loyal do we need to be to them? How could they be limiting us? How could they be hurting others? Is this okay or worth it? We're also told how we're supposed to feel about ourselves. While we generally agree on the concept of humility as a grounded awareness of who we are, there's a prevalent belief that we should be selfless and that we should be denying our own needs and wants. But healthy selfishness is important. You matter, and if you matter, so do your needs, wants, values, and aspirations. Telling us to be selfless is telling us that our needs don't matter. Of course, if you're on the other end of the spectrum, you should be considering how you're making others not matter. In the midst of all these expectations of who we're supposed to be, it's easy to think that we're defective and even evil, especially when we fall short. We forget that being human is hard, and we're all doing the best we can. We're all fundamentally good, and our lives could be so much better if we just learned how. With everyone telling us who we are and are not supposed to be, it may even feel that who you actually are and what you have the potential to be just don't matter. What if becoming yourself is the most important thing? Not just the most important thing for yourself, but for all of humanity. What if we're all counting on you to optimize your potential? There's literally no reason to believe that any person matters more than any other person. While it may be debatable what we're worthy of or entitled to or what our value is, we all matter. You don't matter any more than anyone else, and no one matters more than you. Hopefully, now you feel more liberated, and we can turn our attention to the question of determining who we are. As we've been emphasizing, learning is the solution. Just to be clear, learning is magic, but it's not the magic pill that instantly solves everything. It's a continuing process of getting better and better and better. It's about embracing complexity, not a simple answer or set of steps. It involves experience, hardship, mistakes, and tragedies, and it's an exciting outlook and approach to the way life actually works. Finding out who we are is a part of that lifelong journey. The start of that journey is probably much closer than we think it is. What if a part of us already knows who we are? What if we already had a natural sense of ourselves and our environments, a natural sense of who we are and our purpose, a natural sense of what's important to us, and a natural connection with others? We experience this natural sense as feelings or emotions. Our emotions are important. Consider this. What if we were made for a purpose, and we really are meant to get the most out of our lives, both individually and collectively? It would make sense that our best path to achieving that purpose is to optimize our health mentally, physically, psychologically, socially, and spiritually. But healthy, or being healthy, equals being aligned with our purpose and design, our individual purpose and design, and how we were designed to work together. Our feelings are our only real sense of that purpose and design. We were designed to feel when things are working correctly and when they're not. And what others what other sense would we have of what's actually healthy? If all that's true, then shouldn't we be cultivating a connection with our emotions? Why is it so hard to connect with our emotions? As we've established in earlier videos, being human is hard, and we aren't very good at handling it, which leaves us carrying the weight of generations of issues, our individual issues, and issues embedded in our societies and cultures. Our feelings are a natural sense of who we are. They show us what we want and need, what's valuable to us, what we're passionate about. Feelings are where we find our natural feelings of enthusiasm for life and empathy with others. We sometimes experiencing them. we sometimes experiencing This is really hard to say. We sometimes experiencing ex- we sometimes experiencing we sometimes experience them as a spiritual connection. Just to repeat that one more time, we sometimes experience feelings as a spiritual connection. But feelings are deep and complex and very hard to define or articulate. We know so little about them that we tend to dismiss them as unimportant, and we usually would rather not deal with them. Over the generations, we've developed mindsets, cultures, narratives, and social dynamics that tell us who we are is not important. We tell ourselves and each other what we're meant to feel and value and believe, and we've lost our sense of what our real feelings actually are. But what if we all adopted the belief that our feelings reveal who we are? Wouldn't we find healthier mindsets, social dynamics, cultures, and narratives? Wouldn't we become more connected to our emotions and gain a better sense of who we all are? Let's take, for example, the notion of living as we believe. We all come to characterize this as some moral battle cry, but it's really just a simple adaptive mechanism. I imagine that a simpler organism would think it's ridiculous for us to live any other way than what we believe, but this is actually a real struggle for us. Imagine that you were put in an environment that you knew nothing about. You'd probably start with some hypothesis that you believe is true, then try it out, which is the simplest form of living as you believe. You'd immediately determine how well it worked, and then update your beliefs based on your findings, and you'd continue doing this, making your beliefs more and more accurate, which we could refer to as believing as you live. Pretty simple, right? Here's how we get it wrong. After generations of humans and generations of compounded issues, we consider it wise to tell each other Our feelings are wrong, believe something else. This messes up our natural adaptive system, causing faulty beliefs and faulty actions based on those beliefs, which of course don't work. We take that as proof that our feelings are in fact wrong, which continues to degrade our beliefs, actions, and results and causes a vicious cycle, making us doubt ourselves more and more. Eventually, we come to the conclusion that we are wrong and that we should be something else, which only makes things increasingly worse. At this point, while our organism is struggling to get its needs met, we're usually covering all of this up by pretending to believe appropriately and to live successfully. That's pretending to believe appropriately and to live successfully. Are you starting to see why it's so hard to figure out who we are? Learning is the answer. We need to learn to deal with our issues and to connect with our emotions. Learning also helps us with confidence, which is a concept closely related to becoming ourselves. When we speak of confidence, we can mean any of a number of things. The simplest form of confidence is specific confidence, which is our confidence in specific settings or performing specific skills, our comfort zones. Confidence is natural if we're actually good at what we're doing. In fact, if we're really good, we don't refer to it as confidence because we don't expect to be nervous about something we're good at. Learning helps us with specific confidence because we build our competence in those specific areas. Social confidence is how comfortable and effective we are around others, especially in challenging or emotional situations. Learning helps us here by making us better with people. Personal confidence, also called self-esteem, is our sense of and comfort with who we are and our self-worth. It deals with our purpose, calling, and meaning, and with authenticity, vulnerability, and transparency. Learning helps us with personal confidence by helping us connect with ourselves. And we also speak of general confidence, which is our adaptability to life and new situations. This is about general health and wellness and dealing with stress, anxiety, and sadness. It's also about addressing situations you're not yet good at or don't believe you're good at. Learning helps us with general confidence because learning to learn makes us more adaptable. Learning is a natural process that empowers us to reinvent ourselves and to become ourselves. This seems paradoxical, but I think the secret to healthy learning is recognition that we need both. Embracing this paradox is actually the only healthy way of overcoming imposter syndrome. We're an imposter when we're inauthentic, meaning we're not being ourselves, and when we're incompetent, meaning we're not good enough to do the job people are counting on us for. Becoming ourselves helps us overcome the inauthenticity. Reinventing ourselves helps us overcome the incompetence. On the one hand, we need to continually reinvent ourselves. This is how we adapt to our external environment and the people around us. The nature of life is that we can never be good enough. We must always keep rising because when we fall short, we and others suffer. On the other hand, we should also be continually becoming ourselves. Becoming ourselves is aligning with who you are. You are a fundamentally great person. Learning helps you become the great person you have the potential to be. As we learn, reinventing ourselves and becoming ourselves, we get better and better and better, and we find our natural gracefulness, which makes us more effective everywhere in our lives. You are the real deal. You don't have to fake it. Of course, there's more to becoming ourselves than just aligning with our internal sense of who we are. We also need to align with our environment, including the others around us. This is because the nature of being human has us interdependent on each other to meet our needs. We not only need each other to support our basic needs, but we're social creatures and belonging is intrinsically important to us. We're interdependent on a lot of people, and to be successful, we must negotiate how we interact either directly or indirectly with entire economies. This means that what others think, including what they think about you, does matter. You can determine what's important to you, but you may starve and die alone if you can't coexist and collaborate with others. Fortunately, our emotions, include natural sensitivity to others as well as ourselves. Once again, learning is the answer. As we connect our emotions, we increase our natural sensitivity for others. For example, as we become more in tune with our feelings, we can pick up on social cues that give us valuable information about each other. As we become more sensitive to what resonates with others, we start to find the overlaps and identify areas where we can explore to enhance our own interests to better resonate with them. This also helps us determine the best strategies for resonating with people authentically. As we become better and better versions of ourselves, we move closer and closer to getting the most out of our lives individually and collectively. All of this because we're learning to learn.